You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your checkers, I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your checkers, I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Easy, you don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High my ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
Man, salute. It's been a while. I appreciate everybody for coming in. Welcome to the Great Bill Podcast. Let me mute a few people because I ain't that rusty. I understand that mute button. Who got one more? Boom, there we go. All right, so again, everybody, appreciate y'all for coming through. Angelus, represent for the Great Pill Podcast. I appreciate y'all guys. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification, okay? We're going to do an introduction of a few people we have on the guests in the panel, where the Great Pill Podcast always talk about perspective, where everything is not just black and white, that we have some gray in the middle. So let's get this going on. So shout out to my homeboy, Cam, where his face is at. Shout out my homeboy, Cam. Got the little dark and lovely going on. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep.
All right, everybody every favorite troll out the in the manosphere, red pill spears, whatever Duster spears out there. Shout out to Dusto.
Good evening, everybody. Shout out from the Dustosphere.
All right, appreciate you, sir. And like always, you've seen it before. Have great conversations. Always talk about solutions and great talking points. You can catch them at Black Man and Filter all the time. Appreciate you, Mandrell. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
All right, appreciate you. And BTB before the billions, the young genius in the YouTube streets. How we doing, good sir?
I'm doing well, Angelus. Thank you for having me up here.
I appreciate you, sir. If anybody do not know Before the Billions, you can check my YouTube channel, Before the Billions. Hit that subscribe button over there too. Great stuff we got going on.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and just say my new brother from another mother in the random space out there. You know what I'm saying? When we're done with this stream for the Great Pill Podcast, he will be doing his stream. Got some good stuff. We had a lot of conversations behind the scenes, so I'm looking forward to go ahead and support him on that end. So, if you want to introduce your channel and talk about what you're going to talking points and whatever's going on over there. I think I got you. You're muted. I had you muted.
Okay.
Some feedback.
Yep. Okay. Try to get. My name is Damien. What's up, everybody? I want to just thank my boy AB for just like giving me some tutorials and some help on how to get this thing popping. I got a podcast called "Can I Get Some" podcast, and when we talk about get some, we're talking about understanding common ground and some education on what's going on in the world of pop culture, politics, and relationships and dating. Because my first show is going to be about, has having an OnlyFans ruin your relationships. So it's going to be an interesting, pretty spicy topic. So that's what's up.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll be over there. We're going to definitely be over there, man.
I'm going to be over there.
Oh, stop. That's not too hard to figure out. The answer is yes.
I'm like, well, that's a short answer.
Yeah,
that's a short answer.
Hey, but we got to have that conversation, man, Joe. You know how it goes. You know how
Gotta have it.
All right, hey, Billions. I heard. So you was a little bit sick. You know, you had that little.
Yeah, they caught me with the vid. That's what happened.
I
was out here trying to be a modern man out here, going to a party and then caught it.
Oh man, now I gotta give it to you. I got good.
Damn.
Since you're feeling a little bit better now, but we always got to have this. Where is it? I got you. This is Mandrell's new favorite, so make sure I don't disappoint Mandrell. Scrolling up, it better be here because I'm gonna get very. Where is it? See what happens when you be gone a week? You kind of get rusty.
Oh yeah, I know.
How'd you do in your stream, bro? I saw a little bit of it.
It went pretty well, man. People were like, "Where you been?" I was out for 2 weeks.
Man, ain't no joke.
Yeah, man. You end up, you see your monetization, You ain't make no money. People start leaving and stuff. They like, oh man, you holding out on me like a baby mama with 4 kids.
Hey, but shout out to Darren. Glad you're feeling better, man. So this is for you, man. So get better. I'm glad you're doing better.
Hear the music.
Put your mask on. 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 Put your mask on.
Hold up. Hold my phone. Shake it up. 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 Let go. Let go. Get it right. Get it. Get it right. Get it right. Get it. Get it right. Get it right. Get it. Get it right.
Pause.
Hold my phone. Let's go. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it.
Put your mask on. Mask on. Mask on. Mask on. Mask on. Mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your mask on. Put your
Leg out. Get it right. Get it right. Get it right.
Hey, why you stop that, man? That was I like that song.
Hey, man, just making sure you get them little them healthy energy vibes out there. But yeah.
Pause. Hold the phone.
But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for coming on through. So let's go and see what's going on with the chat. So Thanos, I appreciate you, good sir. Primal Studies, like always, appreciate you. Corey Hager, appreciate you, man, like always. Who else we got down the stream? CJOJ, appreciate you. Great conversations always. Who else we got? Shoo, appreciate you, Mr. Mira. Appreciate you. I apologize if I messed up your name. I will fix that. I'm just gonna leave it as Shoo. So it is what it is. But again, guys, appreciate y'all for coming through. If you're new, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we're gonna go ahead and get this sucker started. All right.
Hey, you ready? Hey, grab that right there.
All right. So if y'all seen the thumbnail, you've seen the name of the title. We're gonna have a conversation about an interesting conversation. I seen a string by the name of Unsolicited Security Balls, where a conversation was had, a good discord between the 3 panelists, well, the guests and the host and another guest that was coming on. And we're going to have the conversation because I felt like it's an interesting topic. So here we go. We're going to play a little bit of it, then we'll take it from there. Oh, and shout out to Unsolicited Security Balls. All her tags and the full video link is down below so you can get the full disclosure of the whole conversation.
I totally disagree with that young man just said above. Instead of having some discipline, you think having sex is just nature.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so take your time and explain to us what you wanted to say. I don't want to change what you were wanting to say, but kind of address that also within what you were getting ready to say.
All right, before we get into that, it was an interesting question that she had. She asked, sex is just nature. Do we agree, disagree? We'll start with Cam. We'll call him Dark and No Lovely. Pause.
Yeah, you need to pause all of that. Just don't do that again.
Yeah, you got the darkness going on. Any lights in the home?
He's in witness protection right now.
See?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't know.
All right.
So,
yeah.
do I think it can be? I think it just depends. I'm kind of on the fence to that one.
All right, we'll rotate back to you. Dustin, what's your thoughts, bro, about her question she originally asked?
It's an interesting topic because, of course, I was part of the conversation on that day. And of course, I know these people. I know Security Boss got a great channel, and she advocates for marriage. She advocates for discipline and structure in the household for men who want to be with women and women who want to be with men to come together in good space, good faith, and make good things happen.
Correct.
And these things are not free. You can't just do what you want to do and then have what you want to have. And she has those conversations. Gentlemen at the top and the gentlemen at the bottom. The thing is, two different people from two different lifestyles. Gentleman at the top comes from, a structure. I think he's a preacher's kid. So of course he's gonna already know what the book is. We gotta move like this, we gotta move like this, and there are consequences of actions. Gentleman at the bottom, good friend of mine. Actually, I speak highly of him because he's open enough to come and share and have those rough conversations.
Sure.
And this person is also, believe it or not, he's actually looking to grow and done a lot of growth in this space. But in times that I've conversated with him and with others, understand that when you make certain decisions, you can be out of here in 24 months. Or you can be not just in the system, but the system actually owning your soul. And you can really get caught up in some stuff. But I allow grace for a person who's willing to have the conversation, who's actually looking to grow and better themselves. So I appreciate and I salute them for being on the panel, for being open enough to say, hey, this is what I got going on.
Fair. And that's real talk, because a lot of people don't have the I don't want to say balls, but have the gall or just the nerve or the courage, just to come on to a panel, especially strangers. So I had to give them kudos for that too. So I agree.
Yeah. And one other thing, of course, I was the one who takes credit for the phrase raw dog Ronnie. That's one of mine. But no,
that's all, folks.
No, but sometimes it takes more than one conversation. Remember, somebody who's an 18, 19 or a child, you can tell them 1, 2, 3 times. But when somebody may have been grown up 20, 30 years, just like why a lot of men don't like dating older women. Because it's hard to get in somewhat teach and train them and get them to untrain, can't teach an old dog new trick. So it's harder to talk to certain people, but sometimes you got to still allow that grace. Keep sharing, keep talking, allow that grace, still keep listening, and hope that sometimes these people will come around.
Fair enough.
Well, within reason. Y'all know me.
All right. By your grace, sir. By your grace. Speaking of grace, Billions, what's your thought on the question that was asked?
Yeah, I think that the question was, is sex natural? I think that is that question.
Yeah, I believe that was her question.
Biological.
Biological.
Yeah.
Then yes, I do. I do think that is true.
Okay. Medra, what about you, sir?
Hey,
Medra.
Yeah. So is sex natural or not? Just natural? The desire to have sex is in fact all natural. That's 100%. But as human beings, we have the ability to refrain ourselves. We have the ability to make a conscious effort to restrain ourselves from it. You have the option to say no and mean it. That's pretty much the long and short of it. Is it natural? Yeah, the desire, absolutely 100% natural.
Okay. What about you, Damien?
Yeah, I'm on the same side as the other cats. It's 100% biological, but there's a lot of things that are 100% biological that as we progress and that we evolve, we kind of taper our base natures. Like it's biological that if somebody says something to you, you want to punch them in the face, but you don't do it because you've learned the consequences of that consequences of your actions. So yeah, it's biological, but so is growth. So
okay, fair enough. All right, so we'll chime in more on the rest of the conversation, and we'll take it from there.
I just believe that. Okay, the only reason why we have to have discipline is because of the laws set in place by other groups of men. However, that's not our nature. But since we living in a new world under a new law, we have to abide by that. The only reason why we have to abide by that because the laws that's set in place by other groups of people don't make those laws is correct. But since we have those laws, we have to run and we have to maneuver around our natural position that we have amongst men and women. So now one side, they made the laws whereas the women they could get away with having sex. They could get away with, doing whatever they want to in sex. Whereas the men, we get looked at as criminals.
Okay. Now the first part of it, I heard what he said, but it kind of went left for me for a minute. So I mean, y'all can put your thoughts on that real quick. I'll let Dustin go because I know he got some time, and I know he know the dude a little bit more intimately. Dustin, you're muted, bro.
It's hard to speak on it because you got to go to another man's understanding.
Correct.
Like in an open conversation, you got to meet a person where they are. So it's like, what is it that you see and what is that you feel and what is that you understand before already programming what you believe into that person.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't speak for another person in that stance.
Okay.
I can only listen to what they had to say and then try to influence saying, hey, can you see this? Can you see this full picture? Can you see it another way?
Okay. So generally speaking, if I said that to you, how would you respond to me?
Me personally, having sex is a decision, and you know what all comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
We know how this whole process does work and how it can work. So I would be willing to make my own adult decision, but the next man, their adult decision, they'd have to give you their response. I can't speak to it, but from any lenses but my own.
Sure. Damien, I saw you. I was about to start speak, bro.
Yeah. So I think the thing I realized, like I've been on a couple panels with my man, and the thing he's talking about, I think mainly is failed relationships, like if failed interactions and stuff like that, like what happens when it goes bad, as opposed to what happens when things work out. I think his situations have gone bad for him, so he's had to suffer some of the consequences of it going bad for him. I think the lesson from there is just to kind of be more vigilant as far as who are you going to get yourself in that situation with. It's one of those things where you can't just be willy-nilly just saying, oh, you're going to give me some, so I'm going to take it. You kind of need to vet and make sure that this is a person that you could potentially want to be tied to forever in some way or form. If not, and if you don't do it, the court system is going to make you at least do it for 18 years. So it's just one of those things where it is, yes, the consequences of bad decisions can sometimes be facilitated by somebody outside the people in the relationship, the court systems, things like that. And I think that's where his thing was, like, when you make these bad decisions, you automatically become use his word, a criminal, because of the kind of binds they put on you in order they put on you, and he feels like those binds aren't fair. There's a disparity between like what the binds that a woman feels and the binds that a man feels. So I know what he's saying, but I think he does kind of like absolve himself of a significant amount of accountability in it, though. So
okay. Billions. Let me address them real quick just in chat because I'm breaking just a rule for a minute. Brittany B, shout out to Brittany B. Brittany B says, we are talking about the person and not the situation. What are we saying? We're just 20 minutes in. We're actually talking about the situation. If you want to go back on the replay and hear the conversation out, we had Mr. Dusto actually say very strongly, express himself by the conversation that he said, hey, I quote him, he cannot speak for that person individually. He only could speak for the general conversation. Mr. Damien actually knows the brother in the other certain spaces, also said, hey, good brother, and kind of agreeing with them and giving an open perspective and an open generality of the conversation. Also back on the replay, Cam also had the same conversation, saying, hey, I can't speak for this person, only speaking in generalities. So here at the Great Pill Podcast, we only speak in perspectives and generalities. What's up, Cam?
No, I'm gonna let my man My man Billion, go ahead. But I'm gonna tweak what you just said a little bit.
Sure, go ahead, bro.
Well, okay, so maybe it's because well, we're supposed to let Billion. You was gonna let him talk first. I was just gonna come back and fix it, but never mind. Okay, so it seemed maybe I wasn't a part of this. I haven't seen that whole conversation, and maybe I do just need to clue into the rest of what was
The whole
said in that
link. Yeah,
conversation.
the whole link is all at the bottom for everybody. But again, it's just a conversation.
But it just kind of seemed like people are talking past where he's actually talking at, because like just that little clip that was played, I kind of got a different perspective of where he was at in his conversation, because he brought up the laws of men and like the different laws that we have. So like he's setting up a scenario of how sexual interaction between men and women, how it is in our society. Like he used the world, but I think he meant like in society. But it's the laws in our society that generalize how interactions between men and women are as of now. But that's not how it is naturally, or how it was pre our society. And I feel like if that's the angle that he was trying to go at, like, again, it's just from that small clip. This is another conversation that I've been a part of with another guy that's on YouTube that goes into a whole fucking community that of polygamy, and there's a whole lot of weird angles that could go to. But just off of what he was saying, it seemed like that's where he was going with it. He did bring a legal angle to it, and the criminality thing kind of, I didn't know where he was going with that either. I was hoping I was really gonna have to hear the whole thing to kind
we're gonna dive
piece
into
that
it, bro.
together.
We're gonna dive
But
into it, bro.
like that was the part that threw me. But the rest of it, it seems like a conversation that it's like it does seem like he's had some bad relationships, that maybe things didn't work out. You made some bad judgments, and you found out that it was like a Jack in the Box thing. Like he jumped in, cranked the handle, and then boink, didn't like the picture. So
we don't have to. We don't have to overanalyze and overthink it. We got time. Billions, what's your thought, bro, so far?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, just from that small clip of what he was saying, he's just bringing up the double standards. He's saying that, women can, do a lot more when they're talking about sexual acts as opposed to men. I mean, I think it was kind of straightforward, and it's true. It's a double standard a lot of the time. You can not get away with a lot of the same things as a man as you can with a woman. It's especially with sexual acts. So yeah, I can agree with what he's saying. I understand what he's talking about.
Okay, fair enough. Who do we skip? Because it kind of got off a little bit for Cam. Mandrell, good sir. Your thoughts thus far? You're muted, sir.
Yeah, you're on mute, Mandrell.
I was saying, I'm gonna need more context before I reply to that. I mean, I don't, because where he lost me was when he started talking about the laws of man and this, that, and the third. I mean, I just want to know, does that tie into it or what?
Yeah, the whole thing. I was on that thing.
Yeah.
I was on that when he was talking about it, when it originally came up, when they had an original conversation on Fight Club, and then she asked him to come off to her platform. I think what it was basically he was just expressing how he feels that, two people have made this decision to not be together and have this child, but it feels like the law is greatly skewed and tilted in the favor of women when it comes to what happens after a child is born.
Oh, I got you.
So yeah, her thing, her point, because she's coming from more of a biblical kind of stance, was, well, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. You know, she coming from the church mama, like you shouldn't be doing it in the first place then, you know, kind of situation, you know, or you should be more aware and practice more self-control.
Yeah. Well, like, Damien, hold on. We hadn't even made it that far into the
video. Oh, sorry.
We better go ahead and spoil the whole thing.
My bad.
Right. Well, I mean, we kind of needed that context because some of it, like people were getting lost from some of it.
Well, I don't worry about people. We're on the panel. The chat's gonna have their own conversation. You know what I'm saying? If it's relevant to this, then we'll bring it up as a conversation. That's why the only person I brought up, just to give some context, if they're new to the platform, you know, and don't actually watch any other content, you know, we've done reaction videos about many people before. We actually had open talks before, had you know, like shout out to Before the Billions in his own his own space sector from the Dusto Spears. We got Dusto that actually lives in the Dusto Spears. Shout out to all the to all the dust out there. You know what I'm saying? And Mandro from another platform, and he's working his own content creator. He does every Wednesday on Black Man Unfiltered. Shout out to him. And Damien, my boy, that actually, Lord behold, he saw some kind of light within the Dusto Spear and found the Great Pill Podcast. So God bless him for that. You know what I'm saying?
We were on the Fight Club, and me and you had some similar points on something. I said, I need to check this brother out. He seemed to know what he's talking about. He ain't just about the fisticuffs, you know?
Yeah, so
I just want to shout, Miss Creative. Yes, I am not young. I am 47 years old.
That's
so
young.
Just again,
that's young. Hey, you ain't gonna put us in no grave, man. That's young. Yeah. So, but that's pretty much it. So we're gonna dive into it, and like I said, respectfully, because I like to vet people when they come on. So I feel like I got a good panel. You pretty much like the only oddball out, so you're gonna have those questions again. That's the perspective we want to have. I don't want to have favoritism. I don't want to have picking, whatever. So we have somebody that, well, pretty much two individuals that know him really well, one more than everybody else. So we're gonna have that conversation. So
give me a minute.
Sure. So moving along.
Criminals.
So let me ask you a question first. But before we do that, let me read this. Captain Executive has given me a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for Captain Executive for doing that. He says the pair character sliding on the floor on his knees saying go. I said that's me. I see that. Thank you, Captain. So listen, Jay Prince, I want to ask this question. When you say the women get away with things sexually, can you tell me what it is you think that they're getting away with?
With accountability. For one, women is the one have to consent to sex.
Correct.
Women is the one have to consent to unprotected sex.
Correct.
So also women is the one to say that this is my body, and if I want to keep this child, I can.
Correct.
If I don't want to keep this child, I don't have to.
Right.
So at that point, when she decides, after a man tell her, after just a one night stands and meeting at the club or whatever have you, and a man says, well, I think you should get rid of it, and she decides to keep it, at that point, that child is hers. Women walking around here all the time and saying, this is my child, this is my child. That child is completely hers. I don't think that the men should be responsible for it. And I also don't believe that the system should be responsible for what she did in the bedroom. Knowing that she have all of this stuff set in place to prevent from having children. You have plan B. They see men only got but like 2 ways to prevent from having babies. Not having sex, which is unnatural, or wearing a condom. What was people doing before condoms became to an existence?
Well, hold on. I want to stop right there because he said it interesting because Primal Studies, you could check his YouTube channel out. He had a third option, and if anybody know that third option is, he shout out to the brother on the that had the conversation. He named 2. He said A, abstinence, which I don't think every man that has it below the belt is not going to say no to it. And then there's another one that he said, hey, use a condom. So anybody can bring in a third one? There's a third option. You can have sex without getting a woman pregnant. You won't have that risk.
I mean, a vasectomy, but
yes, sir. That's the third one.
I'm like a vasectomy. Like,
Mandrell, you done fell asleep, Mandrell.
they ain't got male birth control yet, so yeah, they're snipped.
All right. Well, we can not touch that basis at the same time. So, Mandrell, what do you think about the vasectomy as a third option?
Yeah, great prayer. I'm about to slide out.
Okay,
Thanks
bro.
for
Let me
having
get,
me on.
hold on. I'll let you get final words, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta leave you hanging like that. Any final thoughts thus far, bro? Final thoughts.
If you know somebody, have the conversation. Let's protect each other so we can have it tomorrow and have it next year, and not end up in the system or end up in the clinic or end up in the graveyard. It don't take but one decision, one bad decision. But if you know somebody had a conversation again, because you just never know. And that's what men and females. You just never know.
Fair enough. I appreciate
Thanks
that.
for having me on.
Anytime, man.
Best for everybody. Everybody have a good night. I might log back on if I get time.
Oh, no problem. I appreciate you, man.
Brother.
All right, so back to Mandrell. Do you believe in the snip as a third option?
It's a good option for those who want it.
Okay.
I don't trust anyone apart from myself to have a blade that close to my Johnson. Too much can go wrong there, and I'm sorry, ain't gonna fix that. Okay. It's a good option for those who want it.
I actually had a vasectomy.
Salute to you.
Y'all want to know?
But see, you're a weirdo. You're from California. Wait, he's from California.
We're not asking for no. We're not asking for no backstage patches of his life, sir.
Gotcha.
No.
We don't want to know the
option. It's a good option for those who want it.
Option.
It definitely. I mean, it's from my understanding, it's about as accurate as a condom, 99.9%. You know what I'm saying? So it lowers the risk. I mean, the results speak for themselves. So that's my take on it. For those who want it, go right ahead.
All right, you want to touch the bases on that one, sir, because there's a comment here saying, which I feel is very scientifically inaccurate, said only do the vasectomy if you decide you never want to have kids again. So, sir,
yes,
that could be
the magical question. The magical question: do you have children?
I have 3 children.
Have you had a vasectomy?
I have had a vasectomy.
Okay, you want to touch base on that a little bit?
No wonder you
you know, it's just one of those things where I was just like, you know, my wife and I are both getting up in age, and any kind of pregnancies, my last pregnancy was kind of like tough on her body, and it was just, if she got pregnant again, it could really endanger her or the baby or whatever. So, you know, it was either she have some real invasive medical procedure, and she's already had, you know, 3 kids with me. So I said, the least I could do is have the vasectomy, because realistically, I was maybe had to like lay up in the bed for like 2 days, watch Sports Center, and then I was done. I was back at work and exercising on the 3rd day. So it was just like, it's not that. And, you know, if lo and behold, you know, we decide that we want to have another kid, which we would never do, but if we did, it's reversible. You know, it costs a lot, but it's reversible. You can get it reversed.
Thank you.
Without it having to like, and she didn't have to go into more trauma to her body. It was just something I felt like I could do, and you know, and I don't regret it. You know, so
okay. Now again, if anybody, shout out to Primal Studies, he's actually in the chat. You can check out his YouTube channel. He actually did a good conversation. I think we actually had it on our channel too, because it's like I can't remember. You have to correct me on that one, Promises, but definitely his, because he had the conversation and broke it down with all the articles, because you know he's in the medical field, Damien. You know what I'm saying, just to get some credibility on his end. Like I said, it's a small risk. He actually advocates for it. He gave a conversation. Hey, if I'm a young man in my prime, let's say age 14, when you're like a humping rabbit, that might be the best option for you, because some people from 14 on up in their teens, 20s, maybe early 30s. And he said, you know, the cutoff point as an option may be like, hey, when you're around like 30-ish, 33, 34, because at that time, some men might be already in their leveled up to like the career they got successful in that, the job, credit score, house, whatever they're doing, and say, you know what, now's that time to start thinking about children. So let me go ahead and get it reversed. So by that time, money is not an option for you, because if you leveled up and you in your early 30s, shout out to the before the billions, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even hit 30 yet. You got that guap to say, hey, you know what, and insurance, and you good. So that's pretty much he advocates for that and give great options for it. And
it's funny.
He just chimed
Miss
in.
Creative just asked me, do I have grandchildren? No, my children are actually not that old. I started really later on in life having children. I was out having fun, you know. And then my youngest is 4 years old. So yeah, it's I knew it was time. So
okay. And
wait, what age did you start?
Oh, go ahead.
I started at 36.
Okay, that's a good age then. I'm gonna go ahead and start that age.
Hold on, you gonna start it or reverse it?
I'm gonna start that age.
Okay, you're gonna start.
I'm gonna save up this money.
Okay, all right. Well, if you have insurance, again, I got to keep shout out to the conversation. Primal Studies actually had said if you have the insurance, it's like what, like $50-$60, and you get the little snip, you're good. And then when you get around like 30, 35, I'm just giving you a number, whatever age you choose to, say, hey, reverse it. But the risk is like pretty much at a different factor. And Primal pretty much chimes in on it. He says, if you're under 40 and it's been 5 to 10 years since the procedure, you have a higher reversal change. So there you go.
It's expensive though. It's expensive. I had a cousin who got it before me. He was looking to do it. It's like to reverse it. I think they said, and it's not covered under insurance at all. So I think he said it was like $35,000 to get them reversed. It was something crazy.
Okay, but if you already leveled up from your time you on your prime,
just go to Mexico.
Like drop that chalupa, baby.
I'm not having Mexico. But all right, let me get back on that. So I appreciate that. Man, don't go to sleep on us, bro.
I'm not asleep.
All right, cool. Appreciate you.
Condom's been out a long time, Jay.
It's been out for a long time, but there was a point in time there was no such thing as condoms.
But listen, Jay Prince, this is where we're talking about a standard. We're trying to set a standard, a standard for your life. Because you can do anything you want, right? Because this is the deal. I don't think that any black man or any man should be subject to a law. You don't have to be subject to any law. You can control your own life and you don't have to be subject to what somebody else says. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Right. Yep.
Now, the way you do that is this. You can be selective with who you decide to sleep with. You can say, okay, this woman, I wouldn't let her, I don't even want her to be able to smell me, let alone have my child. You have a right to do that. Is within your right to do that. But once you decide that you don't care about who you sleep with, you don't care about who catches your sperm, you don't care about what womb you put it in, you just gave up your right and made yourself subject to the laws that we all have to live within. We all have to live within these laws, but we all don't have to be subject to them. You know what I mean by that? Yes, we know that they're there. Like, you know, you're driving down the street, we got stop signs, red lights, all these things, speeding signs and all of that. You abide and you see these signs, but you don't ever have to get a ticket. You know what I mean?
Agree or disagree?
Hey, AB, can I just answer? Somebody had a question in the chat. Can I just answer it real quick? I think the man No Captivity with Captivity was asking. Maybe we educating people on vasectomies. I don't know, because he was.
Hey, that's what we're here for, man. Just breaking it down.
He was like, "Is it reversible?" Yeah, it is. And the thing is, it's reversible, but it's not guaranteed. It could be damage done to the vas deferens, to which is the canal that takes sperm into. That makes help that the sperm travels through. It can be, if damage is done to that, it's not 100% reversible. So yeah, it's nothing 100%. So you can pay all that money and then find you still can't have babies. So reversing is just not the thing you want to do.
Yeah. No cap.
Okay,
also, Yeah. Just to add this caveat real quick. No cap. If you check out Primal, say he's in the chat, bro, because I know you're having like a good Discord, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all in the chat. If you check out his channel, he just do a whole conversation about it. He breaks it down like essentially the stuff that Damien just said is also mentioned in that conversation too. The risk factors, even, and I will say this too, and Damien can chime in on it too. Even after you've done it, you're supposed to come back for a checkup.
Twice.
Thank you, twice. You just don't go get the snippet and take off. Then you're going to just run and do your thing. There's a certain period of time after that, then come back just to the doctor to make sure all the plumbing's still good. And they originally assumed the plumbing was going to still be good before you did the snip. So, yeah.
So, Angelus, can I add it? Because it was so many points that I was going through. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and say something. Because I agree with what Jay Prince was saying about like, hey, you know, it's a natural thing. Women have more like, you know, more rights in, you know, when it comes to sexual acts or sexual rights. Also being able to decide what to do with their own bodies. Only thing I disagree with is just where he says at one point, I think he may have just misspoke, where it said that women have the are the ones who consent to sex. It should be both people who consent to sex. That's the only thing. I think it was just like he misspoke right there. And then with Security Boss, when she said that men should not follow a specific law or something along that lines. I'm kind of paraphrasing. But when she says that, I disagree with that point because, hey, you know, there should be laws in order, because without that, you live in, you know, chaos. Right. So you should want there to be some sort of, at least, especially in this type of context, when you're talking about sexual acts, there should be some laws in place to protect others from people to take advantage of those things.
Speaking of laws, and this is me asking, what do you think came first, rules or laws?
I think that rules came first before laws.
Okay. And we still had to abide by the rules. Like, for example, let's just say there's no laws, but I know Damien has somebody, not even a wife, because we're going to throw the laws out there. So there's no wife, but he has a woman that he's bearing children with. You know what I'm saying? So, like, respectfully, I need to respect that man's woman and his mother of his children. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a rule without even being a law. So I agree with that. And it comes down to a respect factor too.
Yeah, I think rules and laws, the only thing that really differ between them is your respect for them. Like, I mean, in the streets, a lot of what people consider rules to some of us are laws. There's just shit that you don't. There's shit that you don't go against. And I mean, yeah, I think that just breaks down to your respect level for the whatever is being communicated. So I don't even necessarily like. To me, I think that's kind of like a chicken and the egg thing. I think rules, laws, it just depend on who you're asking. They could coincide.
Yeah. So
Cam, let me add this right quick.
Go ahead, bro.
Because it is the respect that you have for them. Like I think that people respect laws more than rules, and also because laws are supposed to be consistent, at least within a specific area. You know, because with rules they can be variable. You know, somebody may say it may be this, like the rule is this, and it may change the next day.
Like on the wall, they say no. The rules will say no girls allowed, but the law is supposed to be unilateral.
Exactly, right. And then it's going to take a lot more for you to be able to change a law than it would be for a rule. So that's like the biggest thing about it. So yeah, Angela, when your question, I think that rules came first and then laws. So
okay, I appreciate Hold on, Cam. Hold on. We're gonna give some respect to Damien. He got the dip. He's about to start his prep for a stream. So Damien, you got final thoughts, brother, and definitely shout out your channel so we can come check it out and give us a time because we will be there right after this is done.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the private chat, the private chat we got on Insta, so you'll have it.
Okay.
And So yeah, basically, I think what it comes down to be is like is if you have mutual accountability and if you really keep yourself accountable and have some kind of individual discipline, or if you just educate on yourself on ways, what the laws are and ways to prevent yourself becoming part of the system, you know, I think you can avoid a lot of headaches in the long run. I think what happens if you go in just willy-nilly, just trying to let the chips fall where they may, you will end up in the system and you'll end up, you know, being a victim of some of the things that, you know, the brother was talking about, you know. So just be accountable, be mindful, and learn how to protect yourself, whether it's sex and from the legal system. So all right,
man. I appreciate you, man. I'll be coming over there and check you out. Hey, if you drop that link, I'll come in too. You know how to do, man. Everybody want that link.
Slide in.
You gonna be part of the men's panel. I promise you.
All right.
Well,
all right, brother.
Damon, good to meet you. I'm not going to be able to make it tonight. I got to do a stream at 8:30 in 15 minutes myself. So,
man, Dre, you gonna be away for it?
You know what, Billions?
All
right, Damien. Nice meeting you, man.
You know what, Billions? That's all right. I'm gonna let you have that one.
What's your thoughts thus far, Mandrell?
Thus far, you know, yeah, rules came before laws, and laws are supposed to be more consistent. But I think what she's saying, I understand what she's saying. Men shouldn't be subjugated to laws because we're supposed to have enough discipline and self-control to make good decisions and decisions that don't hurt other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That was what I was going to say.
No, where he was saying about, I don't know, I have to talk to him personally and get where he was going with that, with the laws and stuff. But I get what he's. The part I do understand what he's saying is after the relationship is over, if the woman goes to the law, you know, she puts them on child support, go to family court and stuff like that. The woman has all of the leverage, even if the guy has a vast amount of wealth and able to provide that child with a much better quality of life than the mother is. The mother still has the advantage because she's the mother. And we've seen proof time and time again that the family court does not care about the plight of the man. You know, we've seen that time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
So, so when it comes to that, I agree that the woman has all the advantage, and men don't really have any say so when it comes to family court. There's a millionaire on YouTube right now, Tech Lead. He just basically went to court and lost, and the mother of his child is not even in America; she's in Japan.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like he went to his hearing. He shows up with his lawyer, expensive lawyer, paid all this money. Then he has to pay not only his attorney's fees and the court costs, but the ex-wife's attorney fees and court costs as well. And he has to pay child support and alimony. And she wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? His son wasn't even there.
Kidnapped the son.
Right. She kidnapped his son. She left. She took his son, went to Japan without telling him. And he's been there ever since.
I heard of somebody doing something like that too.
Yeah, his name is Tech Lead. He's a fantastic YouTube channel, by the way.
Okay, I'll definitely check him out.
It was just, he just basically showed up and lost. And it was like, he said, he's like, I really didn't even get a chance to say anything. I just showed up and lost. You know what I'm saying? And this guy's a multi-millionaire. He used to work for he was a tech lead at
Google, Facebook,
Groupon, like all the big ones, all the big names. He was a tech lead at these companies, you know. And the women do have all the advantages, and it's not fair. It's one-sided completely. So,
okay. All right, fair enough. We'll do a little reaction. We'll make sure you have time to. I ain't gonna drag you keep more of your time, bro. So we're gonna make sure to do a little quick reaction to this, and then let you get your final thoughts in, Mandrell.
Not a problem.
All right.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying about the women. When a woman makes a decision whether to, and we're not going to delete a baby or to have a baby, there is still a great amount of consequence that comes with that. I don't know why you would think that is an easy thing for a woman to do. I don't, and if they have gotten so it's easy, then again, that is an emotional trauma that we need to deal with on another day, because that's big. If you can do that and it affects you in no way, that's a big thing. That's huge.
But my thing is, being the person that's in control of the whole situation, as the woman, she's in control of the whole situation.
No, she's not.
What I mean is, let's just say us men is just dogs. But I'm gonna put it in perspective. Like, okay, if you have a 15-year-old son and a 10-year-old boy, right? And they go outside, they go to the store, and the 10-year-old tells the 15-year-old, let's steal these couple of pieces of candy and cake and soda. The 15-year-old, you expect a 15-year-old, by him being older than a 10-year-old, to say, no, we're not going to be stealing. That's wrong. We're going to buy it. If we can't buy it, we're going to leave the store. But what happens if the 15-year-old still steals the candy based off what the 10-year-old said? Who would you hold more accountable? You would hold both accountable, but who would you, as their parent, hold more accountable? Because the 15-year-old have more wit than the 10-year-old.
I mean, that's something I would have to know about those two, because that may not necessarily be the case.
Yeah, that's because also in that scenario, they're both children.
The 15-year-old may not be that. The 15-year-old may not be that smart, or may.
I'll let you go ahead. Mandra, get your assessment of that one. You agree or disagree, sir? Because I was a little bit lost with that one. So if you want to kind of like just help me out, walk me through that one a bit.
Yeah, it's the same thing as if you grew up with a sibling. If like my sister, my younger sister, if she was to go and do something wrong, my parents would look at me and say, "Well, were you here? Yeah. Then why'd you let her do it?" You know what I'm saying? Like the 15-year-old, in his case, the 15-year-old is supposed to be more mature and responsible than the kid. You know what I mean? So you hold that 15-year-old. That 15-year-old would take the punishment for allowing the younger sibling to do something wrong. That's what he's saying there. And security boss is saying, like, well, not necessarily, because the 15-year-old might not be that smart. She's throwing a caveat into this.
Yeah, because I was going to say that, because just to be fair, just this perspective, I think it kind of falls down to the parenting, because you 15, you're the oldest, you're the big brother, and the sister could be the 7-year-old, right? But she might have more sense than you do, or the raising might be a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Somehow she absorbed the tools that the parents gave her versus the 15-year-old.
Right. That's what security boss is throwing in there. Maybe the younger child heeded the advice of their parents more so than the 15-year-old. But from the perspective of the parents, they ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to hear that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cam. I feel like you, as a parent, will be trying to prepare your children for the world. And I mean, yeah, in this instance, it's a 15-year-old and a 10-year-old. But if that 15-year-old, if in that scenario, a 10-year-old talked you into stealing, in a couple years down the line, you're 18. If a 13-year-old talks you into doing that, that's a charge. If it ain't a charge for you at 15. But depending on your background, like you can't, like, as a parent, you wouldn't be trying to hear that. As far as the lifeline or the caveat that got thrown in there, like they're both children, that's the kind of crap that gets our community where it is. They're all children. We've lost the sense to say that the older should be more responsible, regardless of your intelligence. And like, that's something that's supposed to be done at home. We're
fair enough. Billions.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I wanted to add in this is because it's a few things I noticed that he said that kind of like went by, is that he was saying your 15-year-old son and 10-year-old boy, It not necessarily got to be your son. So, I think because his scenario is actually kind of like apples and oranges a little bit when you're comparing to the actual topic at hand when we're talking about, women. But he's talking more so about like accountability. So I can understand where he's going with it. There's a little bit of feedback, but
I think
So with what are you saying, Cam?
I think he was trying to pull his point in the easiest and most blanketed way possible. He not expecting anybody to throw the caveat of they're just both children, or they just might not be that smart. Like I wouldn't have expected that response based on what he said.
Yeah, it's actually changing the scenario. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It changed the scenario. Not only did the scenario not go with the exact topic, but it also then changed again, which made it more complex and harder to understand. So,
that's why I just stuck to the core root of it. The brother was saying you got a 15-year-old and a 10-year-old or whatever, and a 9-year-old or whatever. They do something wrong. Okay, you're gonna hold the parent's gonna hold the 15-year-old responsible. You're older, you know better. Your job is to watch out for your younger sibling while we're not around. You know what I'm saying? Well, they're both children. No, this 15-year-old knows better because I taught him better. And you will understand. And he's not a child at 15. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
forever.
Right. That's the way we were brought up. If my sister did something wrong, if I'm there, please. My parents coming at me. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you stop her? Why didn't you tell her not to? You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen,
it's more your fault.
Right. Yeah. They're not gonna hear anything different. Well, she wouldn't listen to what I had to say. Why didn't you make her? You know what I mean? It's like
I had that too.
Right.
Like, why didn't you call? You should have told her you was gonna call me.
Right. They are not hearing it. My parents are not hearing it. You're the older sibling. It's your fault. Okay. So
period.
That's why I just stuck to the core subject of what Jay Prince was trying to say. You know, and that's what he was trying to say.
Just talking about accountability. That's
it.
That's how I took it.
I took it as accountability. I was just trying to figure out how we relate it back to where he was going to go to relate it back to the women thing. But
Well, like I said, we're getting a little bit deeper in the rabbit hole. Hold on, Medro. We're gonna give you final thoughts, bro. So again, Medro, I appreciate you for coming in and giving the perspective that's needed. And matter of fact, I'm be perfectly honest, bro. Because I know personally, and again, this is a podcast. It is what it is. It's a conversation, and we know how we do it here in the Great Go Podcast. Shout out to us, because we're good.
Yeah.
But with that being said, bro, like real talk, I feel like this conversation need to be had just on perspective of on both sides and try to get an understanding on both sides. And I know, personally, one individual is a little bit nervous because they felt like, oh, are you gonna talk about this individual? You got the thumbnail, and I know a lot of people don't understand when it comes to YouTube politics. Thumbnails are just clickbait. Get over yourself. Let's move on. And if anybody can go on the replay, heck, you can listen to the conversation now. Nobody's not actually directly talking about the person. Not really, you're not. It just we're understanding the conversation, and that's pretty much where I feel like those perspectives need to be had. So I appreciate you for coming on, bro. I appreciate you for giving a mini perspective like you always do, and keeping it honest. If you have any final thoughts and you want to shout out your channel and all that good stuff.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. I want to say that first and foremost. Shout out to the Great Pill Podcast. Everybody like and subscribe. The button's right there. Okay. So you can catch me on the Black Man Unfiltered Network. We're about to go and do a live now. But catch me Wednesday nights with my sister, Shushu. It's called Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu. Catch us Wednesday nights, 8:30 Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. All right. And to the subject, final thoughts. Good topic, man. It is something that needs to be talked about. It really is. You know, I just wish that some of the people in that video could stick to the topic as opposed to throwing caveats in it. And like Biggin says, now it's a completely different scenario once you throw the caveat in there.
Well, that's a good conversation though. You gotta have some, everybody, we all can't be the same. We all can't be the same person. To be fair,
right? It's a good topic. It's a good topic. I like that you're breaking this down and everything. What's up, Poppy?
All right, I'm gonna give Poppy his flowers, man. I want to make sure you get your final thoughts, man. So
All right.
I appreciate
Shout
it.
out to you, Mandrell, and shout out to Shushu.
Thank you for having me. Shout out to Before the Billions.
Thank you.
Subscribe to his channel as well.
I appreciate you, man. I'll
Okay,
catch you in the
later.
back end. All right. My brother from another mother. You can catch him at the Poppy Blanco TV on his channel. Hit that subscribe button. So special shout out to Poppy Blanco. I'm a little bit off, man.
You got the headphones now.
I know.
Yeah, coming up a little bit.
He flexing. Hey, but I gotta get a shameless plug. Me and Poppy had, because we joke around, we're on the same thought process, right? But we say things just a little bit different. It's like a dial turns just a little bit. His might be up 10, mine's kind of adjustable 8 or 7. And we had a jokingly little friendly debate about flexing. So I don't know when the date. Hey, I offered, he accepted the challenge. So we're actually going to have a friendly debate on Primal Studies. I don't know what date and what time. So Poppy got to go ahead and give me a day and time so we can do that. And we can have that friendly debate about flexing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, Poppy.
Well, we could do it. You know, I never run away from the match. Yeah, how's everybody doing?
We're doing good, bro.
I like a debate. That's a good.
Yeah, man. So, well, what we got going on now, man? What question do you have for? I know I seen the thumbnail, obviously.
Yeah.
And,
We're pretty much just breaking down the whole. I don't know how much you saw so far. If you saw anything, if you wanted to break down on the any little clip that you did see, but we're pretty much breaking down just a conversation what one gentleman is having with security boss. They're pretty much having like a good little back and forth with a great conversation, and just chiming in on his talking points. We covered, he mentioned about his sexual acts, about 2 ways that he only knew that he mentioned on live, and then we know about a third. Shout out to Prime about the snip. A lot of people ain't doing it; they ain't going that route. But that conversation kind of dived in the guy had. We pretty much if Billions want to update me on the last one. The last one's pretty much just going about his bringing up children as a scenario. Like the 15-year-old could be the oldest, and this youngest one could be 7, and about accountability. And that's pretty much where we're chiming in on that one.
if I'm mistaken, that's the man. I think he be on how you call it, on La Pif Network on the Fight Club thing. I think that's what I've seen him before.
Correct. From what I hear, he's a very good dude. Never met him, never spoke to him. I heard he's a very good dude. I saw the panel, and it was a good conversation.
And yeah, I mean, you say that he don't believe in pulling out something like that. Is that what it is?
Hey, I don't know. How does world go?
I mean, no, talking bad about it. Like I said, I don't know the bag. All I know is part of the Dreadhead clip. So I'm good with him.
All right, there you go. Shout out to the Dread.
I go with my Dreadhead niggas, man. So
basic as fuck.
There you go.
If I'm mistaken, the man, from what the little bit I know about him, he got like about 4 kids, something like that.
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, I remember hearing that on La Pif Network. So,
yeah, I think that was mentioned earlier. He had like 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah,
kids are beautiful. Man, like there's nothing better than the raw thing, man.
We hadn't even made it to that part yet.
we haven't made it there yet. Like,
this conversation ask some questions. Well, come on, Poppy, man.
Bro, this conversation has changed so many times just listening to this conversation, because where it started ain't where we at. We're at accountability. We started at raw dog and then got to
now we're
accountability.
Now Poppy like saying no accountability.
Accountability gotta be what we want to break it down in numbers. Is that what we're going to do?
We went from the start of this to now. Women got all the control. But none of the responsibility, and they're not responsible and or accountable for shit. That's where we're at so far.
When 2 adults decides to go raw, you know what I mean? it's like both parties
Shout out to
assuming.
K.
You know what I'm saying? It's both party agreeing to go into that particular act. However, the problem what come after that. You see what I'm saying? A baby might fall
See,
behind it.
but that's where the conversation has gotten good because my guy, I can't remember the brother's name, but he's where his problem is when that after happens.
Yeah.
The woman can be, when the baby comes, the woman is the one that decides whether or not she keeps it or gets rid of it. And if she decides to keep it, the government is completely on her side, no matter what the hell you do. Whether you could be a good dad, you could be a deadbeat, you could be everything in between. It's not gonna matter. You're just fucked. But one of the panelists keep bringing up a kind of good point from my side is like you as a male, if you know this, we as men kind of we are brought into the world of it's just not fucking fair for us. Like it's just not. So if you know all of this and you still decide to go raw in this particular chick knowing everything that you know about, like, can you still complain about it, or can you still complain and or feel bad about anything that's happening to you when you know what's going to happen?
That's a good question. What do you think about his? That's a good point he just made. What do you think about that one, Poppy? If you know the consequences, will you still go raw?
Of course no, because a little quick 18 minutes of pleasure gonna be 18 years of pure hell. That should be a slogan right there. 18 years of pleasure.
It's on a shirt,
18
bro.
years of hell. That because I'm not saying that for the kid. If the kids are beautiful, kids are blessing. I love mine. It's just if you got let's say you in a one night stand, not necessarily one night stand. Let's just say you mess with a girl, you met a girl, y'all do the damn thing. You know what I mean? And for y'all know each other for like a month, and a baby come after that. You really don't know this person, so now you having a whole baby. You got to raise a baby with this girl, and that's when the problem comes when two people don't know each other. It's already hard enough for people to raise babies that know each other. Imagine when you don't know the other partner. That's when the courts come involved. That's when the one baby gonna have to pick a side, daddy side or mama side, which most likely is gonna be the mama side because they usually get custody 88% of the time. That's what I was reading on this little stat that I was reading. So
91% usually 91.
It's 91 now.
I think it was 20, maybe 91 in 2018. The last stat I seen, but there was a comment that just came. I think my stat was from 2018. So if it's 88 and it's more recent, that could be somebody just commented and said
the year. So I saw 88. I don't know how. I don't know if it was like real like this year, but I know. Still, it don't matter. 91, 88. You right there. They still get for every 100 people going for custody. That means 88 women's at least gonna get custody. You see what I'm saying? So that means the baby gonna spend more time over there. So he's gonna be raised by her, which is not gonna have that strong male figure that ain't gonna teach the son how to wear the condom, nothing like that. You know what I mean? So that and then the cycle repeats itself.
Yeah. It's a bad cycle, but there was a comment that just came.
Hold on,
because when you said, "Is it not fair?" Hold on, I'm sorry.
We'll get to the comment, and we try to stay out the chat for the most part. Cam,
I'm bad.
No, you're good, bro.
Well, I'm sorry. It was on. It was something. It was something to this conversation. That was why.
After that, Billions, I appreciate you, bro. Billions got to step away. He's gonna make sure he give his final thoughts. So appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say that I think it's a great conversation. I haven't seen the whole thing yet, but I think where it was going, there's a few things where they're kind of missing each other in communication. I think that's where it really comes down to. Certain words that he's using, I think people are kind of skipping over, such as the thing where he's saying women and men have different, double standards. Then you start bringing in laws. into the equation, and then it turns into accountability. So it's a lot of things is going around to just kind of say that, hey, really, I believe that you should protect yourself. We haven't gotten to that part of the video yet, but I think that if you continue playing on the video, I think it comes to the part where you're more so getting at with Poppy and Cam, where they were discussing going raw. So I think that you should most definitely protect yourself and not be out here trying to be Superman and taking your chances. Most definitely. And shout out to everybody who was on that panel. So shout out to Jedi Mike, Scam Likely was up there, Jay Prince, and also Security Boss. Salute to everybody who was on there, and also everybody on this panel as well. So thank you guys so much, and thank you, Angelus, for having me up here.
I appreciate you.
Where are you going, boy?
I got an event coming up in my Discord. That's why I had to.
Okay. I'm about to say, man, I just got here, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
Nah, man, I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, good. Hey, everybody, again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Hit the like, subscribe button. And since somehow we're talking about safe sex and accountability, so this shot, we're gonna give a little promo for the safe sex out there.
Speaking of, hitting it and getting the game right to get the ladies, when you come home from a long day of work, when you're tired and your girl looks at you, and you're having a little trouble down there sometimes because you're so damn tired, your testosterone levels might be low. You see that blue pill in that corner of the edge of your seat? Please take that Blue Chew or Cialis. Enter code word Blue Chew or Cialis and get 15 to 20% off. If you're a first-time customer, you'll get 40% off. $15.99. Bingo.
Love it.
There you go.
Hey, you ready? Hey, grab that right there.
All right, so I appreciate you guys. Yeah, so we're gonna do a little bit more diving into the reaction to the video thus far. So again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. I definitely saw Jay Prince in the chat. I appreciate him from coming in and actually giving a shout out to everybody, saying good discussion. So again, I appreciate it because the conversations need to get just dived in a little bit. And just for me personally, it's like you meet a first person and your first reaction, like maybe he's an asshole, maybe he's a cool person, he or she. And then you get like another second perspective. You know what? Because I really don't even like the first perspective, that first impression. I think that's false. That's a false promotion, because your first the first thing you're trying to impress somebody, like you put all the mask on their face.
You put your best foot forward. It's not your real foot. Your best foot.
It's not your real foot. I'm looking for the real foot. So I'm glad we had this conversation and diving in on this topic. So here we go.
All I'm just trying to insinuate that women has the ultimate say so, the last say so.
I agree with you with that, Jay Prince. Listen, don't think ever that we're not in agreement with that. But what I'm saying to you though, there is no way a baby can be made if there is no sperm. And
oh my bad, I'm sorry.
And if you don't want your sperm to be used, then you don't have to drop your sperm off.
Yeah, I understand that.
Listen, this is Jay Prince. This is what I'm trying to say to you, because this is the part I think you miss when we talk, because we don't get to talk. It'd be so much stuff going on. We're talking about a standard of living. I want better for you than what you've been doing, because I want you to have control of your life. All these other two men that are around you and all other men, I want them to have control over your life. But instead, what you continuously do is you give your power away to a woman, and then you expect her to treat you like kid gloves, like she love you. She don't love you because she never had a relationship with you. She don't even know you. It was a dump. What you call it? How y'all say it? Dump and pump, pump and dump.
Dump and pump.
And dump. There's no relationship there. She cares nothing about you, but you're giving your whole life to her. And I'm telling you, I would love for you to have control of your own life and want better for yourself. But it's almost like you're saying, I can't have no better. This is me. This is my nature. And as far as your nature go, God did make you a male, but now it's time to grow up and be a man. As a man, you decide what you want to do with your stuff.
But that's the thing. The only reason why we having these is,
I ain't gonna lie, that was the realest thing she ever said through this whole conversation. If you born a male, but now you got to learn to be a man. That is for all men out there.
Issues. It's not because of how God created it. It's not really because of women. It's because of certain laws by other groups of men that's no different from me or you. Other groups of men took charge and said, okay, we're gonna punish the men, we're gonna favor the women. That's the only. And how long do we always gotta? My thing is, as men, how long we gotta continue to allow these groups of men? Why do we gotta continue to maneuver around their laws? Like, we not put on the planet to operate in a frame of what they say goes. I'm as a man and as a black man, I know other men like Jedi or Scam, you know, they willing to submit to that. But I'm not willing to submit to no other man to telling me how I should operate within myself, within what I want to do, because I'm not put on this planet to please or abide by them. And I don't agree in that book when they say follow the laws of the land. No, I'm not put my spirit. God gave me my spirit because I believe that if God didn't want me to have children, God would have never allowed me to have them. Because there's a lot of men out there trying to have kids. They trying their hardest to have children, but God didn't let it come through. Okay, so if God allowed me, it's good. It's valid.
Okay, hold that.
All right.
Oh my Lord.
So God. Yeah.
Remember what I was talking about earlier? Remember what I said earlier?
Kind of went full circle.
I told you he was talking about that shit, man. I told you. He went all the way back to that nature boy shit where I ain't got to I don't have to abide by the white man's laws and shit, man. And he did it because he said it as a black man. Like he brought it into it. And I told you he was. But that is like the ultimate. This conversation is really difficult to have with women because it's an ultimate deflate when they make that male man inference, because it's always made. Because that was the comment that was put that I was going to address, is that somebody put in and said, well, it's not fair to men, but don't men control society? Not today's society. But nevertheless, it's not, I don't think that that's really relevant to this conversation. I don't think who controls society or I don't think the fair conversation is even relevant to this. I think it's choice. You should be a semi-intelligent human, or in this case, if you're gonna call yourself a man, you kind of have to look at the lay of the land and get a feel for your environment. And then if I make this decision, if I decide I'm a raw dog, a one night stand, there are consequences. So whatever those consequences are, you have to deal with them. And I don't like the fair conversation because you're never gonna win. You're never gonna win that. There's no one's gonna be happy in that conversation.
I got you. Poppy, what's your thoughts, bro?
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm mistaken, J Rock, I think that's his name, right? J Rock.
J Prince.
J Prince. Yeah. J Rock is the rapper, man. I get them confused. All right. He implied, he was trying to say that pretty much like God gave him the privilege to be a man, and pretty much he can do whatever he please, and pretty much kind of be like free, like pretty nearly like back in the days that when those men used to have like 10, 15 kids, something like that. Is that what he was trying to imply? I don't want to put words in his mouth.
Well,
that's kind of. I was kind of
That's how I kind of took it too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just assume that that's what he's saying. Like this is his given right to what if he can have as many kids as God want him to have. That's what I got from it, right?
Yeah.
That God gave him the right to have as many. He is right. He's 100% right, right?
Because that's the process of a man.
Yes, he's 100% right. The thing is once again, once he have all those kids with whatever women he might have, that's when the problem is. He ready to be responsible what come behind it?
Yeah.
All the drama, all the headaches, all the
No, because that's
extra.
what this conversation is starting from. It's not fair.
Because me, you, Angelos, and every man in the chat, we can go bonkers and go road dog a lot of people out there and get all this girl pregnant, bro. That ain't gonna look too good. In 2 years from now, you're gonna be just literally broke as hell, just trying to have Sky Daddy off your butt. Sky Daddy will be after you every month for that $300, $400, $500, whatever that child support is. Okay. And bro, I'm glad I'm not in child support. I don't want those people after me. I see my friends in them. That's a stress. Bro. That is a stress.
Yeah.
They getting old by the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
fair. They're getting that is child support is true slavery right there, boy. You don't. That's true slavery right there. That's modern day slavery. Because the second you don't pay, your ass is in the clink. You ain't got no. I ain't never seen a system that's like more rigged for you to fail. I just watched Saw. That was literally like a jigsaw puzzle.
You have to
no matter what turn you make, if you don't make that payment, you are fucked, bro. They take your they take your degree. You go to jail. You cannot use your degree. You cannot go get a place. You can't do shit, and they don't give a fuck if they're taking their cut, not giving a fuck if you can pay rent, if you got clothes, if you got. All they give a shit about is if you got a job.
To be fair, don't get me wrong. If you make a kid, you got to take care of that kid. I'm big on that. My whole thing would be like trying to make sure you take care of that kid without the courts getting involved. That would be your number one job at that point. Once you over there cream pieing females all left and right, you know what's gonna come after.
Yeah.
I'm good with it as long as you're not doing the it's not fair for women. Women got this double standard and that double standard.
Well,
if you feel like you could just be.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get up to because, for example, that's my thing too. Don't do the. It's like a catch-22, and you're screaming. If you know you run around and smashing every girl, and you know potentially she's gonna get pregnant, but then you scream about the laws. Well, you didn't know the consequences. You knew the rules. You knew even down to the game. You knew the game, how it's played. So why even take that risk? So the risk would it be the two that you either name or the third one? Hey, snip. Okay, cool. Nobody want to do snip. Or have a deep trust, because again, we know people lie. Have the deep trust in that woman to say, and she say, "Hey, you know what? I can't get pregnant." Then that's another choice you got to make. But guess what? You still rolling dice.
I would think as a man,
one of my aunties, the doctor said they couldn't have baby. She couldn't have a baby. She ended up having 3 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, none of that stuff is 100%. A doctor is human. They can make mistakes, and they can tell you that you can't have kids, and you can be very damn fertile. But my last thought to this would have been just simply this: how many times can you, as a man, run into a brick wall before you say that you're purposely trying to cause yourself strife or something to complain about?
I agree. Even a real man in the back of your head. Yeah, even a real man that somebody claimed their man, if you know that's the main activity you're going to be doing is having sex and sleep around. In the back of your mind, you got to know. In the back of your mind, you like, yo, it's a chance you're going to get pregnant. It's a chance.
But I mean, for my guy here, he got multiple kids. So even if you didn't know what the game was, you knew. after your first. Let's say that you were young and dumb. You didn't learn your first lesson. And let's say you caught the second. My guy is at 4. You're not making mistakes, my nigga. You're dumb. And you're just complaining. Like there's no amount of law changing that's going to fix that.
Yeah.
Well, to play his lawyer, I'm gonna play his lawyer real quick.
Okay.
We only hearing one side of the story.
Lead Poppy.
He probably got cut. You know what I mean? He probably hungry was like, yo, I'm on the pill, I'm on the shot, and that can easily happen.
That card. We playing that card.
Play that card.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, I like the devil's advocate thing. I
know a lot of girls, bro. A lot of homegirls of mine. And listen, I like to listen to all of them because when females talk, I listen because they teach you so much game that you didn't even know. Matter of fact, my homegirl, another long ago, she just had a baby. But guess what? Homegirl was on birth control and still got pregnant. It's a lot of that thing happening too. Those things ain't 100%. So. You know what I mean? So maybe 1 or 2 that happens to my man. Maybe my man's sauce might be too strong that gets through the birth control.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
so if you marching through birth control, you would think that you would wrap that up then. So I'm still going to say
he said after the first. If you saying if he got caught up, that's what you're playing that card, right? If he got caught up.
I will give you your first.
The birth control was strong, but guess what? His super sperm was just too strong, and it became kryptonite for her birth control. And
obviously, Pilar don't work.
Okay, hey, now you throw a pull out.
I mean, I will give you 1 mess up with the pullout. I'll give you 1 for the super sperm. Now, what about the other 2? Because we didn't change no behavior, and if we just marching through birth control, and we are free willing every chick that just walk past and wave. I still say there's not much that I can change as far as a law to help you, other than
the law is gonna be a bit. I always say this, bro. It's always the right. It's always the right way to do the wrong thing. If you know you're gonna engage with these women, right? Man, both of you go to the clinic. Both of you take your butt to the clinic. Make sure you clean. And after that, that's step number 1. Step number 2, well, hey, are you on birth control? It's a huge number of women that be on birth control just to even control their cycle. They already be on it already, right? But you want to make sure of that. You on birth control? Oh no. Okay, what can we do? You want to get on birth control, or we gonna have to, you know what I mean? Work that out, or I'm gonna have to, have to do the loud.
I can do the thing that is more. There's one other option though. Even for my free willy guy, there is another option. Because my brother was famous for doing this. I call it the Deloach plan. Any time he raw dogged the chick that a one night stand, he made breakfast the next morning and slipped her that. He would bring her at $30 morning after.
No, that's dangerous.
Not playing.
No, actually, that's criminal. Actually, bro, that's criminal. That's literally.
He brought it to her and said, "Yep."
But she did. You said she didn't know, so he slipped.
No, she knows. He made her breakfast, and he brought that whole. You know that motherfucker come in a big ass package.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's stupid. It costs $47.
Okay, but let me just add some. Let's add some content to this. So you're saying the dude. He went raw with her, had sex with her unprotected. Then the next day he made breakfast for her, and you saying he slipped it in, or he told her, "Hey, I'm gonna make breakfast."
No, he brought that whole package. He brought her breakfast. He would make a tray, I'll send you pictures of how he set her up the next morning.
Okay,
he set a place at the table with that damn package and said, "Yep, go ahead," and then hit the dough.
when you know you made a mistake, that's more. I thought you said his lip ring. I'm like, boy, I was about to log off. I'm like,
no,
yeah, I don't want no part of this. I'm talking.
Like no.
But isn't that, let me touch bases with that real quick. Isn't that still kind of dangerous too? Because again, everybody's different, right? And me and Poppy said he's on his panel plenty of times that, well, I'm gonna quote Poppy because he says, don't believe anything a woman tells you, believe the opposite of it. So if you did that, right, and brought her on a silver platter, the nice breakfast, and said, hey babe, guess what? The date in the morning after pill's right here too, and she look at you and just say, I don't want to take it, then what? Or she pretends she's gonna take it, slip on her tongue, and then walk out the door. Guess what? Guess what happened 9 months later? Hey, more you are the father.
Hey, I'm done. Look, I don't get into that particular conversation because my plan would not be to do that.
Yeah, we're not talking about you individual, but the fact that
like I don't like the morning after.
I did bought a couple Plan Bs in my lifetime, so I know that.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Everybody has bought that damn.
I know people like that. But like that's something that was like previously kind of discussed. You know what I mean? Hey man, we're gonna do this little thing right here. Just know that I'm getting up at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I don't care how drunk I am or how tired I am. Take that drive to the CVS through. Let me get them joints. It's 2 of them things. You take one day and you take the next one 24 hours later.
It sounds like you have D control, Pop. You have some good D control because a lot of men out there. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with trying. You took the try when you left
messed
out
up a few times though. I ain't gonna lie. I know you're perfect. I gamble a few times. I gamble a few times, man. You know you hear your boy, hey man. Do you feel your can, man? Yeah, we good. Thank God.
All right, we're not gonna beat this up with a dead horse, man. You know, and I appreciate, man, and just a reference, Cam and Poppy, if you want to give out your age real quick, because a lot of people, it's older men that act reckless and still being raw dog Ronnie, and they don't want to act. And for me, I think it's a blessing to see younger generations actually, making sense with the conversations they having. So, if Cam and Poppy, if you want to give
my 30s, baby, I'll be my prime, man. I'll be my prime.
29.
There you go.
Oh, you see, he young. He about to be in the 30 club. Welcome, bro. Welcome. You months away.
I'm about to slide in. Well, shit, I'm a year away, but
there you go.
I'm a slide in 30 club and no kids. So, yep.
Okay.
You're saving a lot of money.
There you go.
Hell the fuck yes.
Yeah. So I appreciate everybody for coming in, man. So we're gonna give final thoughts and everything. Again, the link for the full video is down below. I appreciate the conversation. Shout out to Unsolicited Security Boss. Shout out to Jay Prince for actually just to have the courage to jump on different panels, because I know it's not easy. Every platform is different. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this for people that still want to be on panels: just take your time out and do the homework. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I vet people before I bring them on. I just don't be throwing wrenches to be throwing wrenches. I don't be throwing links to be throwing links, because a conversation need to be had. You know what I'm saying? It got to be. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, Cam, for come on through, man. So if you want to give final thoughts, and then I'll drop it below, and then I'm gonna send links for everybody who want to be backstage just to have the conversation. And so there you go.
Oh man, if we have final thoughts on this, I'm gonna shout out Jay Prince, because I've been talking about it. I still haven't seen the whole video, so I'm gonna take the time to watch this whole video. But I do respect the perspective he had. I don't necessarily think that I think because of some of the context that we got earlier, I am going to say that there's still some growth to be had. I can see that. I mean, he got a good head on his shoulders. There's clearly been a track record of some bad decision making, and there's some misguided views. Like, I seen everything that I was told about in the beginning. So I am going to say I do shout out for him coming on and actually still having the conversation, because I do think it is a different perspective than what I have. And I feel like a lot of males have the same perspective for this particular conversation, or at least they will reiterate the same kind of point of view, I just don't think that. I mean, I don't think the fairness or the law changing is really going to change the deeper context of this. It's more just accountability. Like, we as men, we have to be responsible for the decisions we make. If we want to if you're gonna be raw dogging everybody, you gotta accept the consequences that come with it. If you're not gonna be careful, that's your choice as a man. I respect any man that's gonna make their choice. Just don't complain about the consequences that come with your decisions. That's my only thing.
Fair enough. I'm drop you down, bro. We'll be backstage if you want to hang around. Poppy Blanco, and then there was two for everybody else.
Hey, you ready? Hey, grab that right there.
Final thoughts, brother. Final thoughts.
I think it should be more live streams like this, man. Kind of, it's more like a sex education refresh. You remember when you was in high school, and you was kind of awkward back then because you was smaller, you didn't know what the hell was going on. Because especially now, because to be honest with you, a lot of people got access. Everybody walk around with a goddamn smartphone, so it should be interested for them to see stuff like this on a live stream and being discussed in a very, you know what I mean, a very more like fun manner, in a way, you know, that they can relate to. You know what I mean? So it was a good live stream. I wish I would have gotten over here a little bit earlier, but I was busy running around stuff. And just keep up the good work, bro.
I appreciate it. Everybody came running for the thumbnail. They didn't even know what they was going to get themselves into. They came running for the thumbnail. They know how the conference is going to be. So got them. All right, man. I appreciate you. All right, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. Shout out to Miss Creative. Just keeping the chat lively. Appreciate you, KK. The link is below, so you're more than welcome to be backstage so we can actually have just a conversation. You don't have to cam up because we will be backstage. You can just listen, just type in the chat, whatever, just come up, whatever. I appreciate y'all. Again, shout out to Security Boss for having the conversation. Shout out to Jay Prince for having the conversation. And everybody on the panel that had a great and different perspective of how the conversation went down. And no, Miss Creative, I am no rings on the finger. Am dating, you know, no shade, but yeah, no C's out there. I don't do the humping rapping. I'm actually very respectful. And I think twice before I act. It just is what it is. Unfortunately, everybody's not perfect. We are human. People make mistakes. But unfortunately, you do have those negative outside outliers that actually judge people, and they know they're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all guys. Come on in if you're in the back end. Hit the subscribe button, hit the link, all that good stuff, and I'll catch y'all guys later. Remember, Gray Pill Podcast is not everything just black and white. They're also gray in the middle. We appreciate the perspective. So shout us out. We're going to catch you later for Saturday at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to be a co-ed. I mean, girls and guys on the panel for a great discussion. So I appreciate. Oh, shout out to Nathan Daly. So we're going to do something to work. So we're going to have him as a guest on again for a good discussion. He was on another brother's panel. So we're going to have that discussion. So I appreciate y'all. Welcome to the Gray Pill Podcast.